When the President of the United States looks directly into a microphone and tells the American public,
For you to pay a tiny little bit more for your gasoline, when you have to pay a little bit more, you're at $4, it's okay.
it represents one of the most stunning political reversals in recent history. For years, the political playbook was built around one simple promise: bring down the cost of living, drill domestically, and lower energy costs for working-class families. But now, with gas holding above $4 a gallon nationwide, the narrative has shifted from promising economic relief to demanding patriotic financial sacrifice at the pump. Telling everyday drivers that paying over $4 a gallon is okay hits like a slap in the face to anyone living paycheck to paycheck. As ex-user Timothy Keith pointed out, it is anything but okay when running a work vehicle, like a tradesman's tool van, burns through over $120 a week just to stay on the road. For plumbers, electricians, delivery drivers, and small business owners, fuel is not an optional luxury or a political talking point. It is a direct operational cost that cannot be negotiated. When someone's livelihood depends entirely on keeping a service vehicle moving between job sites, brushing off higher prices at the pump reveals a massive disconnect with the day-to-day realities of working-class households. The country is now deep into month after month of national average gas prices hovering above the $4 threshold, despite voters being repeatedly promised $2 a gallon during campaign stops across the Rust Belt and Sun Belt. To see the scale of this about-face, you only have to look back at how aggressively the administration used to hammer Washington for allowing energy prices to climb in the first place.
Can you believe it? You're going to be paying $5 and $6 a gallon for gasoline pretty soon. And they want to go in and raise the price of oil because we have nobody in Washington that sits back and said, you're not going to raise that price.
In those speeches, expensive fuel was treated as definitive proof of failed leadership, weak governance, and political betrayal by Washington insiders. Yet today, when those exact same high prices hit the board at local Shell and Exxon stations, the explanation suddenly flips into an unavoidable foreign policy necessity that citizens are expected to quietly absorb. Now, imagine if Barack Obama or Joe Biden had stood in front of a podium and told Middle America that paying $4 a gallon was totally acceptable to fund a foreign policy initiative. The opposition, conservative talk radio, and Capitol Hill Republicans would have spent weeks calling it an out-of-touch, disastrous assault on the American worker. Beyond the partisan hypocrisy lies a deeper, more personal frustration regarding who actually bears the burden of these decisions. Political leaders and their inner circles constantly demand financial sacrifices from ordinary citizens, yet wealthy elites and political dynasties never experience the pain of those sacrifices themselves. A billionaire politician or high-ranking government official never has to look at the total running up on a gas pump and decide whether they can still afford this week's full grocery list. The financial pain of foreign policy miscalculations is always offloaded downward onto commuters, truckers, and suburban families. This brings the entire conversation back to the underlying cause of the price spike, the ongoing military campaign and escalating conflict with Iran. Wartime messaging and political spin work overtime to convince the public that foreign military entanglements are painless, but the reality of extended conflicts eventually wake people up through their bank accounts. Washington can announce tactical operations and show off advanced military hardware on cable news, but the secondary bill inevitably shows up at the refinery, the container port, and the local gas station. When you strip away the speeches, the press releases, and the partisan spin, the bottom line remains unchanged. An economy cannot run on political justifications, and families cannot pay their utility bills with foreign policy talking points. Shifting the blame from global market realities to asking voters to embrace $4 gas marks a dramatic retreat from the populist economic promises that energized voters across the country. Whether in the suburbs of Ohio, the small towns of Pennsylvania, or the highways of Texas, the American consumer is left paying the bill for decisions made thousands of miles away, and no amount of political reframing will make $4 gas feel okay.